Welcome back to another episode of Blissful Beings. We're your hosts, Janine and Dr. Mel. And on this episode, we're going to dive into quantum leaps. Melissa, I'm so happy that you're here in Houston at my Simple Lending Financial office. It's so great to have you. And I'm so happy that we finally getting to do an in-person video podcast.
Exactly. I can't believe this is my first time at your office. I feel like I already know these people from your Instagram, and the energy here is just blissful.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to have a cultivating like that mindset of positive energy atmosphere, and we have a great environment here in the office, so it's beautiful to have. So yeah, quantum leaps.
Wow.
Going
Yeah,
after your goals, taking that leap of faith and belief, and I think that's what it is like those main principles, right?
Yeah.
Of success in general is really being consistent, persistent, believing in yourself, developing that confidence and taking that extra step. But sometimes it's not, it's called a quantum leap, but it's not about the big leap either. It's about the steps. It's about the compounding over a long period of time that really helps you achieve the bigger goal.
Right. People think it's just like this big moment. Like, what one action do I have to take to get to that next step? But it's not one major action. Maybe eventually it will become to that one decision that will impact your life, but it's those baby steps. It's that perseverance, those consistent actions you take every single day.
Yeah. And it's definitely like, I'm not saying it's easy,
No.
but you do have to follow the confidence and belief in yourself. And actually podcasts are a great example. And you hear some of these people that have the top podcasts, right? And they go back to being like, remember when we used to shoot in our basement? Like, and hey, remember when our first episode got 10 views?
Right.
So it's like, but they committed themselves to the fact that their podcast is going to touch a lot of people, help a lot of people. And that's the belief I have within our podcast, because like for me, like the tools and tips that I've learned in my life have helped me, so much. And being an entrepreneur and having those days that like are extremely hard. And you're like, why am I even doing this sometimes? But it's like those are the days that are like sometimes you're losing doubt, but it's like those are when you come back and just know that those steps are like for a bigger comeback, and going after those and like just staying committed is really everything.
Power of your thoughts.
Yes.
I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
It's those fear, those doubts that enter your mind that keep you from making that leap. And if you let those fear-based thoughts take over, that's what's going to keep you at that lower frequency.
100%.
You have to think on that higher frequency to get the life that you want. And you have to visualize it. And you have to consistently.
I love how passionate you are.
It's so true because you're doing it.
Yeah.
You didn't get here in this Simple Lending office by thinking little, right? You consistently thought of it happening and took the steps and made the action to get here. And that says a lot about what you really want and following what you really want. People say what they want, but they are unwilling to take the little baby steps and those actions.
And there's risk involved too. And I think there's a big thing about just being comfortable with risk.
Yeah.
And the more we grow as a company too, the more, now there's 3 people that I think have access to my credit card. I can't manage it, like, but
that's
like
scary.
But 2 years ago, I would know every little expense.
Yeah.
Now it's like we have so many expenses coming in like this, but it sits okay with me because I focus on what's coming in too, of like the prosperity. But if it's also just getting comfortable with it,
right?
Because now I don't mind like, oh, open my Amex and it's $25,000. But if you told me that 2 years ago,
yeah.
I'd be like, excuse me, what is the Amex?
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, it's really crazy.
Yeah. Like today marks your day, your big event. And that's the reason I'm here.
For sure.
Yeah. And just the expense of holding this event today.
Yeah. Lauren's shooting the podcast. I keep looking at her because she's my assistant and, part of does our expenses. But it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm coming from a belief that throwing 100-person party, spending this amount of money is going to bring us volume and bring us awareness of people knowing who Simple Lending is, and that deal flow and prosperity will come through that.
Right.
So it's really having the faith.
Yeah.
It's all faith.
Yeah. And also just celebrating and giving back to those who
also support us.
Yeah.
For the past 2 years, our friends, our family, our clients, brokers, everyone's going to be here tonight. And it's also giving back.
Yeah.
And we've had an episode on generosity and giving back and how that transpires and things, circulate.
So how important is surrounding yourself with the right people and keeping those right relationships, weeding out those that are not right in order to allow yourself to get to the place you want to get?
Yeah, 100%. And I think intuition's a big play. Like when someone makes me feel bad or something's not like right, follow your intuition, because that's everything. But to resurface on the quantum leap and you say like, oh, how people support you,
right?
It's kind of wild because it is everything. And if you're someone that's out there and you're like, oh, I don't know if I've ever made a quantum leap in my life, think again, because you've learned as a toddler to go from crawling to walking. And that right there is a quantum leap. And the reason why you know how to go from walking is because you lived in a society where everyone was walking. You had people applauding you every step you took. Your parents watched your first walk, and that right there is a transformation.
Right. Even kids that struggle with walking, the parents don't give up on that kid. They're going to walk somehow. You're going to go to see a physical therapist, or you're going to figure out who can help you get there.
Yes.
You have to bring the right people around to get to where you want to be.
Yes. And think about how many times kids fall down before they could walk. And they do it gracefully. They don't beat themselves up. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fall down. What matters the most is you getting back up and achieving your goals. And it's kind of wild because as adults, when we grow, we become more comfortable or less adverse to risk. And it's like we just have to learn to be a kid again. Go after your goals. It's okay to fail. Yeah. You're not going to get to your goals by staying comfortable and being afraid to fall.
Right. And then once you start thinking about your goals and where you want to be, you end up surrounding yourself by the right people and seeing those ways to
You'll see.
Those
when you start achieving wanting to go after your goals and you start speaking it into existence, you'll see the people around you and how they react, and you'll know who you want in your corner and who's going to help you get there.
Right. And a lot of times people get overwhelmed by quantum leap, like, oh, what does that mean? Frequencies. Oh, this is all taboo. No, it's once your thoughts are thinking about where you want to be, you're putting yourself in that frequency around those people, right?
100%. And a lot about having like the abundance mindset and the positive mindset is finding different opportunities too. Not everything comes like in one form or one pathway. Things come to you in many ways. So having an abundant mindset actually helps you keep your mindset open, that things don't come directly from A to B. So for example of like growing revenue within my company, we're doing a podcast, we're doing this, we're doing that. Not everything has to come from one direction or one source. And I have a good example from, reference from the YouTube book, which is one of my favorite books, by the way. It's only a 40-page book front to back. So if you're not an avid reader, it's an easy read. But it talks about a fly, and a fly that keeps hitting the window. And if this fly just, simply turns around and like looks the other way and flies that way, he could get to where he was going. Yeah. So sometimes it's just like taking that step back. If something's not working, don't try and keep doing that thing that's not working. Right. Kind of step back and look in a broader sense of maybe there's an easier way.
Right. Another path to take. I think people think when one door closes that it just shuts you down. No, it leads you to new opportunities and new doors or new people.
It's a mindset of, if this doesn't work, it's for a reason. Yeah. And coming out of any obstacle or challenge with a good positive mindset.
Yeah. Another good book by Dr. Dispenza, New Memories. So instead of focusing on your past memories that are negative, that you feel like not worthy or inadequate, think of new memories that are positive, that like being a baby and walking and things you've succeeded on, and putting your thoughts in those positive mindsets, things that you have accomplished. Focus on all your leaps.
Yeah, definitely take a step back to reflect and pat yourself on the back for how far you've come, and then keep going, because that's success. Is being consistent and persistent and just keep going.
Love that.
Yeah. If you guys are watching this next year, make sure you're at our 3rd anniversary, because these parties are definitely worth a visit to Houston.
Yeah, and it's only going to get bigger
and better. That's the path we're on. We're on the growth train, and we're going to keep growing. So
love it.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast of Blissful Beings. Please subscribe to our channel. It helps and goes a very long way. And thank you again, Mel, for coming to visit us in Houston.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.